Hello, well tonight we're going to have loaded beef nachos. It's really easy, but oh, it's such a good recipe. I have my oven set at 400 degrees. My cast iron skillet is right here warming up. I put a couple tablespoons of oil in there, and you're going to let that heat up for about 10 minutes. Then the rest of the players are a tablespoon of chili powder, 1 garlic clove minced. In here I have 1/4 teaspoon oregano, 1/2 teaspoon cumin, 1/4 teaspoon cayenne pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. And then I have a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Along with that, I'm going to use a pound of cheese. This calls for different cheeses, but I just use a pound of the Mexican mixed cheese. There's 3 different cheeses in there. And I have a pound of burger back there waiting to go. And I have 8 ounces of tortilla chips. This is really simple. You can't do it all in the same pan because I have to put the meat in here for a little bit. But it's very simple and it is so tasty. Let me get to it. Now when you're using cast iron, I always have one of these on the handle because that can get hot. These are nice little additions to your arsenal in the kitchen. The oil is glistening and shimmering, so I know it's ready to use. Now this is a little strange, but I'm going to cook the onions first. Usually you put the burger in. That's a nice sizzle. And I'm going to do this about 5 minutes. I might turn it down a little. Have it on a medium heat. The goal here is to soften the onions, and they are soft, so now I'm adding my burger. You're going to cook the burger until it's no longer pink, probably about 5 minutes. It's been a little more than 5 minutes and I'm satisfied that there's no pink. So now I add about everything else. Here's all those spices, the garlic, the chili powder, not the jalapenos yet. Then I'm going to stir this in, and I want to keep it on the stove till I can smell it and it's fragrant. About 2 minutes. This smells really good. Now the last thing I'm going to do for this part is add my 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And I'm going to let this simmer till most of it is evaporated. That'll take a couple minutes too. So this is pretty much done. This is as good as I want it. Now I'm going to put this in this bowl. I'm going to have to use both hands. Back in the day I could just use one hand and fling this all over the place, but the arthritis in my hands doesn't agree, so I'm gonna lower myself and use 2 hands. In fact, I love this handle on the other side of the pot. I have put my cast iron pan to the side for a second to let it cool. I have to wipe it out. But right now, this is the meat mixture. I'm going to put about 2 cups of this cheese in here. Pretty close. It's half the package. And we want this to melt. And this smells so good. You want the pan off the burner. I'm going to rub as much grease or anything that's there. Now it's ready to load up. I'm going to put about 1/2 of the tortilla chips on the bottom. Is this looking weird yet? There. That's about 1/2 of the chips, or 4 ounces. I'm going to put a cup of cheese on top of this. I think that's good. Next comes 1/2 of the beef. You're just going to sprinkle this around. I suppose you could put refried beans on here, but I've just only ever made it the way the recipe said. Imagine that. That's good. Put 1/2 the jalapenos on top of this. Do as you like, folks. Do as you like. You know how much you can tolerate. Now I'm going to do that all over again. There's the other half of the chips. the last bit of cheese. Remember, that was 4 cups of cheese, or a pound. And yes, the thing that goes next is the rest of the beef. If you've been watching my channel for very long, you know I kind of am anal about this stuff. I want it like even. I'll try. Watch the cinnamon roll video, you'll find out. Oh, Martin was doing everything askew and it was driving me nuts. But we made it. And now I put on the rest of the jalapenos. Remember, my oven is at 400 degrees. We're going to slip this in. We want a few anyway, come on. There. This will go into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Can you hear that sizzle? It was in for about 13 minutes. You want to melt the cheese is what you want to do. I do have a confession to make. The recipe actually calls for half a pound of beef, but it's so good with a full pound, you don't have to use a full pound. Now, I'm going to try to dish this up for Martin. Usually I'll just set this in the middle of the dining room table and we just start digging in. But let me give this a try. I don't know if I want you to watch or not. I don't even know what angle to go from. There. Can you see this, how this looks? It's so beautiful. All those layers and simple spices. Now I do have some salsa here that my friend Sally makes, and Sally marks her salsa. This one is fire. I have one in there from her that's hot, but I thought I'm going to live on the edge and try that. Well, give this a try. Your chips stay nice and crispy. You could add, if you want to add tomatoes, I suppose, but you're going to mush up your chips. Give it a try. I think you'll like this one with half a pound of beef or a whole pound. Till next time, bye-bye.